Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to Blues Game Day Live. Darren Pang alongside Kelly Chase here at the old morning skate. We've only been to 6,422 of these in our NHL careers as a broadcaster.
That's right.
Just as a broadcaster. And sometimes as players, we showed up and we actually skated down there.
Yeah, and some of us more than others.
And some of us more than others, you're
some
right.
of us more than others, the extra black aces.
We've got the Montreal Canadiens in
Yep.
town. You know how you know? Because you look around the arena and you've got French media, you've got English media, you've got four different stations.
A lot of media.
You got a lot of media. So I think that's a lot of fun.
A lot of questions being asked too about the Montreal Canadiens. And what do you see happening with them? I mean, they're a team that really looks like they've had their struggles and can't sort of get on firm ground. A lot of questions around a lot of their guys. And for the Blues, sometimes that's been a thorn in their side where they look at a team that's been struggling, Panger, and not had the success. So what do you expect tonight?
That's a really, really good point. And the one area that the Blues, even though the Montreal Canadiens are struggling, I think the Blues players still see it as the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
I still, the CH, it's the Canadiens, it's original six, it's being shown back in Canada. I think it pumps them up a little bit too. And I think that, so that is different than maybe playing a team that's been down in the dumps and hasn't been able to perform. But, the Montreal Canadiens right now, they're full of rumors. I've done a couple of radio shows already this morning, and I've been asked about more players.
Right.
And you have to come back and keep it even-keeled when you're dealing with Montreal and some of their players. But they've had some struggles. Carey Price has had some struggles this year. Max Pacioretty started real slow, although he's getting better now. Guy that I like from Montreal to watch, I like watching Brendan Gallagher play. I think he's a gritty guy. He's always in the middle of things, and he's a player that our Blues fans can watch tonight. But all in all, they're not a playoff team right now. Probably makes them a little bit dangerous coming out of the break. And the Blues are refreshed, Chase. They're coming out of the break, and only two players go to the All-Star game. That's pretty darn good.
That's awesome.
In Braden Shen and in Alex Pietrangelo. And Pietrangelo won the passing.
Yeah, there's going to be some expectations on him now, with that winning that passing.
I think so. Getting notoriety. And he's talked about as an All-Star.
That's great. And then, if the pass isn't on the tape, then they say, hey.
The boys are going to give it to him.
The boys will be all over him. There's no question about that.
You can hit that little wee net from 60 feet, but you can't hit my tape from 12?
Right.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
It'll be fun with him. But I tell you what, I don't know. You can go back on my Twitter feeds. I could always help him out with it if you want.
Yeah, because you've got some comebacks.
Shot across the lake into the net.
That's true.
But net, what I can
did
do to
see
help
that.
him. That's right. But you know what? I expect that these guys tonight will pick up where they took off. Because when they took off for the break, for the All-Star break, they were starting to get their complete game together again. And the fact that Schwartz is back now too gives them that little bit of, I think it spreads out the offense. It gives them a little bit of that chemistry that was missing. Yeah,
I think we look at it from the other coaches of the other teams. How do you defend against the Blues when they do have Schwartz? It was easier to defend against them when they didn't have Schwartz. But now for Claude Julien, the head coach of Montreal, and he's had Weber being injured for a long time. They don't have real matchup guys.
Right.
I think this is one of those games where these two players, Shen and Jaden Schwartz, can really have some fun. They have the potential to really light it up here. And I'm liking Stastny, Barbashev, and Tarasenko as well. I think Stastny's just been so underrated all season long and doesn't get nearly enough credit. I would say Alexander Steen are the two guys that just don't get the credit for being the old pros that they are.
Well, I think the level of consistency, even when winning or losing, they were getting chances and they were finding. I was finding that every night in and night out, they were the hardest workers.
Yeah.
It's starting to pay off now a little bit on the scoreboard for them, but I think that level of consistency is, like you said, being an old pro and knowing that, the ebbs and flows of this league can be tough on guys if you let it get in your mind, in your kitchen a little bit. Those guys handle it pretty well, and they brought themselves out of this, and now the Blues have got to get on another streak.
It's great getting ready for games and knowing that Schwartz and Shen are back together, though.
It's great to know that you're going to have that chemistry there, honestly.
And that break for Schwartz,
it gives you options too. And the break for Schwartz is great. He got, dipped his toe in the water, and kind of found out what things are going to be like. And I thought he was good the other night, and I think you'll just see him continue to thrive. So I'm excited about this one.
So if you were a player and you were in the same situation as Jaden Schwartz, you would have wanted to get in that last game against Colorado?
I would have. I know a lot of people were saying, but he can get another 4 days or whatever. But sometimes going out and playing, as a player when you're ready. And sometimes you push the envelope but you know how to steer yourself out of trouble and stuff, and there's stuff you can't avoid. But Jaden knew that he was in a position where he needed to go out and get a game under his belt, get confidence, go to the break with a little bit of a mindset that he was going to be able to push himself through it, and I think that's exactly what's occurred.
Well, here on Blues Game Day Live, we have You know, we're looking at the game tonight, but I think this is a moment for us to say thanks to a real good guy, and that was just before the break. Probably didn't get a lot of notoriety, but a player goes on waivers. It's a popular player in Magnus Payarvi, really a hard worker, a likable guy. I'm just glad, and I'm sure the Blues were maybe thinking that he might go down and they'd have him as a depth guy down the stretch, but he gets picked up by the Ottawa Senators. There was 2 other teams that were on the list, too, that made a claim for him. So 3 teams made a claim for him.
Right.
And from what I understand, at least 1 team was a playoff team. So good for Magnus Payarvi. He worked hard. At least he showed the other GMs and scouts out there that he's a player. And if he didn't work hard, Chaser, and this is a great lesson for everybody, maybe you're not playing all the time and maybe you're only playing 6 to 8 minutes, but if you work your tail off, someone's going to notice. And someone took notice, and now he's an NHL player for Ottawa.
He worked his tail off. And he was respected by his teammates. He didn't complain. He wasn't a whiner. He did all the right things. And remember, he could have went back to Europe and made a lot of money played over in Europe. And he said, I want to be an NHL player. I want to prove that I belong in this league. And I think Maggie's done that, and we wish him the best.
He solidified last year's series-clinching goal against the Minnesota Wild.
Correct.
And who could forget that great one-timer after the great pass from Vladdy Sobotka. So here's to you, Magnus Payarvi. Good luck in Ottawa with the Senators. It's a great city. I got a couple of places you can maybe go to. Just give me a call. All right, big boy. Well,
I've heard about him.
Let's wrap this up. Montreal and the Blues tonight. Good game as always. 7 o'clock puck drop on KMOX and on which one? Fox Sports
You're on
Midwest.
Fox. We're still on Fox.
On Fox Sports Midwest. 6:30 pregame show. Join us there. So for Kelly Chase, I'm Darren Robert Pang. We'll see you tonight.